see you have returned for another sleep study interview as you were. It's great to see you again. How have you been this week? Alright, well, maybe a good night's sleep is just what you need. We will, as always, be giving you our interview, and today is quite a fun one. But hopefully, the more important thing is you just get to stay back in your own self and just relax, unwind, all of that fun stuff. But before we get into it and take you back to the room, I do have to go through our typical spiel of needing your name and all that fun information. So, could you please give me your name? Great. Occupation. I say it every time. That is an awesome job that you've got there. Do you at least have a little bit of fun in what you do? Wrong time to ask. I get it. Okay, so what is your favorite drinking temperature of water? Perfect. If you had to choose a lightsaber or a blaster, which would it be? I'm the exact same way. It's pretty much a very popular choice. No surprise, they're pretty awesome. But, alright. And let's see. What color lightsaber would your lightsaber be if you had one? Yeah, like you went to Ilum as a youngling with Yoda, found your kyber crystal deep in the caves. What color kyber crystal would it be? Okay. That is all we need from you. So if you'll just follow me this way, we'll get back to the room and start with our interview. Alright, perfect. And here we are. We've got our questions up on the side here as always, and you are free to sift back into your bed there, or if you don't want to lay down, that's completely fine, but just get in a comfortable position, relax, unwind. The intern will bring in your drink as soon as possible. We do have interns now. My assistant is on vacation, so someone is taking over for them right this second. But, alright, yeah. There is your water. I hope it is to your liking. Feel free to drink it whenever you want. Be sure to stay hydrated. And are you ready to take our interview? Perfect. I think there's a little less questions this time. Can't really say for certain till the end, but I'm pretty sure. Just a few though. Alright. And as always, you are free to pick as many as you like, tell me why or why not. All of that is completely valid. Question 1. When a crisis spreads across several worlds, what do you focus on first? Keeping alliances intact long enough for a real solution to form? Identifying who can be bent, broken, or used to restore advantage? Mobilizing the strongest fighters before hesitation costs territory? Or removing confusion by placing everything under one superior command? Okay, this is a bit different, like I said. It's not our typical stuff. It's going to be a little different. You'll see. Okay, what kind of headquarters would feel most natural to you? A grand civic capital full of diplomats, scholars, and uneasy promises. A shadowed citadel where ambition is always being tested. A war camp alive with armor, trophies, engines, and battle stories. Or a flawless throne complex built to make every visitor feel small. Okay. Someone questions your authority in front of others. What do you do? I'm not a huge fan of this. But do you answer with patience and remind the room why the mission matters? Turn the challenge into a lesson they will not forget. Demand they prove their strength instead of just talking. Make it clear the structure does not bend for personal doubt. Perfect. As per usual, we are seeing a bit of a pattern early on here, but you're a unique case, and I look forward to the rest of this. Pick a personal rule. A fragile peace is still worth defending. Power unused is power wasted. Strength is proven through action, not titles. Order becomes real only when everything answers to one will. There we go. What do people usually rely on you for? Holding complicated groups together when everyone wants a different outcome. Seeing the hidden leverage in a tense situation. Bridging courage, force, and momentum while others hesitate. Or turning scattered effort into one clean and controlled direction. Okay, perfect. When plans fall apart, what is your instinct? Gather the right voices, reassess, and rebuild trust. Seize the chaos before someone else weaponizes it. Charge the opening and force the situation to respond. Or shut down uncertainty and issue a single decisive course. Perfect, thank you for that. Which flaw sounds most familiar? You can trust dialogue longer than the moment allows. You can treat relationships like contests for influence. You can mistake constant challenge for true purpose, or you can value control so much that individuals feel inconvenient. They're all rough, I do agree. And I'll just make that note. It's one of those questions where it's kind of meant to be rough, it's kind of meant to be telling, but you did well. Pick a symbol you would be drawn to. A worn Senate seal carried through centuries of conflict. A crimson sigil carved into the black stone. A battle-scarred helmet marked by victories, or a golden crest displayed above silent ranks of soldiers. That one does sound pretty cool, I can't lie. What kind of victory feels best? Winning because uneasy allies chose cooperation over collapse. Winning because your opponent underestimated your hunger. Winning because your courage broke the enemy's line. Or winning because the whole field moved exactly as commanded. That last one is very much strategic, yeah. Little Age of Empires, Galactic Conquest, Situation, Civilization. Yes. What unsettles you most? Watching your old ideals rot because people stopped maintaining them. Being forced to kneel to someone weaker than you. Living without a worthy challenge to test yourself against. Or seeing chaos survive because no one had the will to dominate it. Okay, that's super interesting. Yeah, so that answer actually, it maps to a very specific thing that you weren't really tracking towards at all. But that's what's making it interesting. Alright, we've gone through 10 questions so far. How are you feeling? Okay. Are you still good on your water? Alright. Well, it sounds like you're good to go, but I will ask, are you prepared to continue? Perfect. What kind of mentor would shape you most? A patient statesperson who teaches restraint, duty, and perspective. A ruthless master who forces you to sharpen every weakness. A veteran warrior who teaches survival through trial and combat. A cold visionary who trains you to think beyond ordinary limits. Okay, yeah. Well done. Next question. In a group conflict, what role do you play? The negotiator trying to keep the room from splitting permanently. The strategist quietly deciding which side can be turned. The fighter pausing everyone to stop arguing and prove themselves. Or the commander who ends debate once action is required. Okay, perfect. And thank you so much for your note afterwards. Pick a trial you would rather face. Meditating between proud factions that barely trust each other. Surviving a court where everyone smiles while sharpening their knives. Crossing a battlefield with only your skill and nerve to carry you. Or controlling a vast machine where one weak order could ruin everything. Perfect. What kind of secret would tempt you most? A buried truth that could prevent another war, a rival's weakness hidden behind ceremony, the location of an enemy stronghold no one has dared attack, or a design for a system that could govern countless worlds at once. Great. Pick a travel destination, an ancient capital world where history and politics overlap, a harsh world where tombs, academies, and dangerous ambition. A frontier battlefield where legends are made in dust and fire. A polished city world where every tower reflects perfect control. Okay, perfect. When someone fails you, what happens first? You ask whether the failure came from confusion, fear, or bad leadership. You decide whether they are still useful. You judge whether they stood their ground when it mattered, or you correct the flaw before it spreads through the system. Fascinating, okay. What kind of loyalty makes sense to you? Loyalty to shared principles, even when people disagree. Loyalty earned through strength, reward, and fear of betrayal. Loyalty forged by fighting beside someone and surviving. Loyalty to the order that gives everyone their place. You're starting to teeter between two very specific areas, yeah. It's fascinating stuff. I've never seen this happen before in anyone, but that's what makes it interesting. Okay, what do you secretly want people to notice? That patience takes more strength than they think. That your ambition is not random, it has direction. That your boldness comes from discipline, not recklessness. Or that your composure can make chaos kneel. Okay, yeah. Is there a reason? Okay, no, there doesn't. It's up to you if you say it or not. Clearly, that's just a fascinating answer based on everything else we've got going here. Okay, how do you handle tradition. Preserve what still serves people and reform what has failed them. Use it when it strengthens your claim and discard it when it limits you. Honor it through action, combat, and shared identity. Or refine it into something grander, cleaner, and harder to question. Yeah, that one is a little, it starts off good, but gotcha. It starts off a little simpler, kinda turns a little aggressive at the end, but I got you. Alright, I believe that was 10. So, let's take a break here, a breather. I'll give you a moment to catch your breath, do some deep nose inhales and deep breath exhales out of your mouth. Make sure to hydrate as always and just relax. We are in no rush here. Everything is okay. This is a controlled environment while we're here. Are you feeling alright? Any thoughts about the quiz so far? Or not really quiz, but interview? Okay. Totally off record. I got you. Okay, yeah. It's like I said, it is very different. It's got the same essence as ones we've done in the past, but because the answer choices here are so different, it's providing a little bit of deeper insight into who you are. And as always, we really, really appreciate you being so open and honest and willing to share. While I've got you here, and before we resume, I do just want to say that you are an absolute champion, and you are enough. I know you said work was what it was, and your week is what it is, but you're very much appreciated, and you are enough. Are you ready to finish out strong here? I believe we only have 10 more. Okay. Ready? Let's go. What kind of ally worries you most? Someone too impatient to understand consequences? Someone too sentimental to make a difficult choice? Someone too comfortable to fight for what they claim to value? Or someone too independent to fit into the larger structure? Okay. Pick an atmosphere. Marble halls, layered voices, old banners, and restless diplomacy. Red light, black stone, whispered threats, and ceremonial danger. Campfire smoke, clanking armor, roaring engines, and pre-battle laughter. Or white stone, gold trim, silent guards, an impossible scale. Yeah, that's actually one of the first. It's not 100% your first one of that area of that answer choice, but it's not a pattern I've seen, but it does sound very relaxing. What kind of mistake are you most likely to make? Waiting for unity when action may already be overdue? Underestimating the cost of constantly seeking more? Thinking peace means stagnation or weakness? Or assuming people will accept perfection if it is imposed cleanly enough? Perfect, thank you for that. Which fear feels most relatable? That noble systems can decay while good people are still defending them. That someone else will decide your limits before you reach your potential. That life will become soft, safe, and empty of meaning. Or that disorder will keep returning unless every piece is controlled. Okay. Perfect. Thank you for that. You're doing great, by the way. A lot of unique answers, and that's what we love to hear. When the official answer feels wrong, what do? Work through the channels until the truth has enough support to survive. Use the mistake to strengthen your own position. Ignore the answer and follow the path that proves itself in action. Or replace the flawed answer with a clearer command. Great job. Pick personal aesthetic, ceremonial robes, antique maps, layered history, and polished debate chambers, dark armor, sharp silhouettes, ancient markings, and controlled menace. Heavy plates, clan armor, weapon trophies, and dust from the road. Or gold armor, symmetrical design, grand architecture, and cold elegance. Great, you're doing fantastic. We are almost at the end here. What kind of tiny victory feels best? Getting two enemies to agree on one step forward? Making someone reveal their weakness without realizing it? Landing the hit everyone thought was impossible? Or watching scattered pieces align into flawless pattern? Got that marked there for you. How do you define strength? The ability to protect ideals while adapting to reality. The ability to impose your will despite resistance. The ability to endure, fight, and earn respect through action. Or the ability to make chaos obey a single design. Okay. 3 more here. When resources are limited, what do you prioritize? Keeping enough trust that nobody abandons the alliance? Giving resources to whoever can turn them into advantage, equipping the fighters who will take the hardest ground, or centralizing supplies so nothing is wasted on sentiment. Okay, simple one there. What kind of reputation would you want? Principled, diplomatic, and difficult to corrupt? Dangerous, brilliant, and impossible to dismiss? Fearless, loyal, and proven under fire? Or untouchable, commanding, and almost mythic? Okay, yeah, perfect. Thank you for your insight on that. That's honestly pretty grounded. A lot of those answers, it's like put them all together and you get a weird amalgamation that would make quite the personality in a person. But it's almost, it wouldn't be a horrible personality if done for the right reasons. It's all about the heart behind it. Alright, final question here. Officially, at your core, what are you most drawn to? Cooperation, legacy, duty, imperfect ideals worth preserving, ambition, mastery, influence, and power earned through struggle, honor, conquest, courage, and identity forged in battle, or order, vision, control, and greatness shaped from above. Perfect. And now our final question. If you could belong to one of these groups, which would it be? The Old Republic, the Sith Empire, the Mandalorian Neo-Crusaders, or the Eternal Empire? That tracks. Alright, while the machine does its thing, just get that started up there. How are you feeling? Okay, yeah. So you've done super well today, and as always, very unique answers. It just shows how many layers and how complex you are, but there's a beautiful simplicity to it too. Looks like the results are in. It's pretty quick today. But remember, before I go over this, we will provide you breakfast should you want to sleep here. Whatever you'd like, we will have it prepared for you as a thank you. You are more than welcome to sleep here with your eyes continuing to be closed. You seem quite relaxed, more relaxed than you when you walked in. So feel free to just snuggle up to the pillows and drift off if you would like. I will explain the different results here, but let me write down your actual results here. So, going over the results though, the Old Republic. If you got mostly the Old Republic, your answers suggest that you are principled, diplomatic, and drawn to the difficult work of holding complicated things together. You tend to think in terms of alliances, long-term consequences, and the responsibilities people owe each other, okay? This result fits you because your quiz pattern points toward cooperation, civic duty, patience, and a belief that flawed ideals can still be worth defending. Your strengths are wisdom, perception, and the ability to keep people at the table when conflict would be easier. Your growth may come from recognizing when tradition becomes too slow, too compromised, or too afraid to act. Still, this match shows someone who believes peace takes effort, and you are willing to do that work. The Sith Empire. If you got mostly the Sith Empire, your answers suggest that you are ambitious, intense, and unwilling to let others define your limits. You tend to notice power dynamics quickly, and you may be drawn to situations where skill, willpower, and strategy can change your position. This result fits you because your quiz pattern points towards mastery, influence, calculated risk, and a desire to become stronger through pressure. Your strengths are focus, resilience, and the courage to claim space in rooms that might underestimate you. Your growth may come from learning that trust is not always weakness, and that constant competition can become lonely if it is the only language you speak. Still, this match shows someone with fire, vision, and a refusal to stay small. If you got mostly the Mandalorian Neo Crusaders, your answers suggest that you are bold, action-oriented, and deeply drawn to proving yourself through challenge. You tend to respect courage, directness, and loyalty that survives hardship, rather than loyalty that only exists in comfortable times. This result fits you because your quiz pattern points towards strength, identity, combativeness, and the need to test yourself against something worthy or someone. Your strengths are bravery, endurance, loyalty, and the ability to inspire others through action. Your growth may come from remembering that not every meaningful life has to be measured by conquest, conflict, or victory. Still, this match shows someone fierce, committed, and unwilling to let life pass by untested. And finally, if you got mostly the Eternal Empire, your answers suggest you are composed, visionary, and drawn to systems that feel powerful, elegant, and complete. You tend to prefer clarity over mess, command over chaos, and long-range design over endless debate. This result fits you because your quiz pattern holds towards control, structure, ambition, and the desire to shape something vast with precision. Your strengths are discipline, strategic thinking, presence, and the ability to create order where others see only noise. Your growth may come from remembering that perfection imposed from above can miss the human reality underneath it. Still, this match shows someone with extraordinary focus, the kind of person who does not just survive chaos, but tries to transform it. Now you know all of the answers, what they all mean, and so if you are still awake, you don't have to answer or say anything. I do wish you a good night, even if you are already asleep, but if you're still asleep, if you're still awake, gee whiz, we do have a little bit of a survey, just in case you want to take that. The survey isn't as important, it's more you coming back that matters to us, because we really appreciate you. So, with that all said, I will have the intern quickly bring you in the new water, take your old glass. Remember, if you need to hydrate, feel free to drink. And of course, we will see you in the morning with that breakfast. Have a good night, a good sleep, and I'll see you next time. On to the next chapter.